I think it was a good start. I think, we got some great players around this area and guys that obviously fit a need for us, and making sure that, we continue to bring in great competition, great depth, and guys that we feel like really fit our systems, and most importantly, great character guys. So really looking forward to it. Again, it's kind of a little different this year. Your early signing day was a little different. It's a little different feel, honestly, but February now until February is going to obviously be a huge stretch for us, and making sure we finish off the class the right way. And then obviously we still have papers out, and there's still we're still continuing to work on this class, and so got a lot of work to do yet, but it's a good start.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of work to do. I mean, how many more players wise do you feel like you guys are going to add the rest of the way?
At least 12 to 14, and then depending on how everything else works out, I think. You look at college footballs, I think after the bowl game will tell you a lot. All these bowl games, with the transfer portal and all the different things going into it, you just never know how it's going to end up. But, I feel really good about probably adding another 12 to 14 at this point.
Do you feel like you guys met your needs with this group of guys?
Excuse me?
Did you feel like you met your needs with this group of guys?
Obviously some of those. There's obviously more needs that need to be met come February, but that's what this period's all about, and there's no doubt. I feel like the guys that we have committed and signed up are going to be great players for us. Again, fit our culture. Obviously, they address needs that we felt like we needed, and so it's a great start, and I'm excited about the guys we have signed up.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about one in particular, Quillan Farrar. Obviously, he's been, a pretty key player for a team that's going to be playing for a state title this weekend. What have you seen out of him?
Big game this weekend. Very talented. A little bit different than some of the backs that we have. Some of the bigger backs is a little bit more like DeAndre. Compact, has great twitch, good speed, good vision, but he also runs physicals. And so obviously he's averaging over, I think, 10 yards a carry this season for a really good football team. And they have a lot of playmakers on that team, but he shows out, and I'm really excited to watch him go play this weekend.
You ended up taking 2 quarterbacks in this class with a couple of transfers. What went into that decision?
Looking for the best players, the best fit, guys that fit in your system, also guys that have years ahead of them, that you can continue to develop and build around your team. And again, always just looking for the best players that can help us win football games.
Did you feel like you needed some more options at quarterback?
Yeah, I felt like those 2 guys were a fit for our system. Quarterbacks are always hard to pass up. I can't ever have them enough, in my opinion, because of the way it's gone today. I mean, you got guys that are it's a revolving door, and so felt like that was definitely. I felt like we were going to end up taking 2, and just because of all the things. But I feel good about that room. I feel good about bringing them in, and the strengths they're going to bring to the table, and also just continuing to build our team.
Are those the kind of guys that can maybe come in and immediately compete for playing time?
Everybody on this paper does. That's what we do every year. We're going to go out and compete, and that's why we go out and practice and have spring ball. And a lot of it's every guy's a little bit different, adjust to the system, the speed of the game a little bit differently, whether you've played ball in college or whether you're coming from high school. And so, again, I feel like all these guys have the opportunity to go out and compete and make plays. And at the end of the day, Brett, we're always going to try to find our best, players to get on the field to help us. It's our job to make sure we put the best out there to help us win football games. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, but with guys that have previous college experience, these guys both have extensive college experience.
Yeah.
A little bit of a jump.
Yeah, I think maturity, guys that have, played at a higher level, I guess, per se, and have some of that college experience, always is great. But, there's been a lot of high school players that have come out and, competed and started since day one, too. So Mason Fine's a great example. He was a high school kid that, played, I don't know what they were, 3A, 4A ball in Oklahoma. And he come out, he adjusted the speed of the game. He's extremely smart, and he ended up starting as a true freshman. So, again, you recruit guys that fit your system, guys that you feel like love ball, that are willing to come and compete and earn their job and earn their spot. And, every year is a little bit different. It's always interesting to see the guys that are going to step up early and find that role for themselves.
Previously, you've kind of got heavy on high school kids. You've got a few more transfers in this class. And that seems to be more of a trend across college football. Is that something that you guys looked at and said we needed to, maybe go heavier?
Well, I think, I love recruiting high school guys. I love bringing guys in and building that relationship and developing guys. And I think we've done a great job with that here. But obviously, with where it's kind of gone today and all the different recruiting rules and regulations and all of that, there's also some immediate needs we may have, and in order to get some more experience or more maturity, depending on what that looks like, depends on what our needs are at that time. So, I think we have a good mix of both, and the biggest thing is just finding the best player that fit our system, our culture, and making sure we do the very best we can to put the best product on the field next year.
In terms of the high school guys you went after, one guy who really popped out to me a little bit, Jax Van Dant, who was the only high school guy you guys signed outside the state of Texas. How'd you end up targeting him and that kind of thing? What did you see out of him?
A long relationship, building that relationship early on and some connections, but just a guy that has been a two-time team captain for a team that's a 4-year starter. I think they've won 3 state championships since he's been there. Very well respected amongst his teammates, his community, and just a guy that's put a lot of effort in coming down here and showing, seeing what we had to offer, and just built that relationship, not only with myself but our defensive staff, and felt like he fit into our defensive system. And he loves ball. He's very competitive. Again, he has great leadership skills. When you're a two-time captain for one of the top teams, I think. With them, a really good football team, it says something about who he is and what his character is all about. So we're excited to have Jax.
You guys are in the middle of a heck of a run here at the end of the season, winning 5 straight games to get to the bowl game. Did that, translate to success in recruiting for you guys towards the end there?
I think the momentum built. It always does, But I think more importantly, the relationships you build throughout the year. Obviously, recruiting just doesn't start the last 4 to 5 weeks. It's been going on since last December, January, February of last year, a lot of these guys. And so I think the biggest thing is, showing guys, all the great things that North Texas has to offer, not only as a university, academics, the resources we have within our athletics department and the support. And then, it's really important to build those relationships with the families and the players. And so that's where it all starts. So I think obviously that momentum helps, but I think more importantly, the relationships you build over time is going to really depend on a lot of it.
You guys have taken a lot of transfers from ACU over the years. Is that become a situation where maybe you can show these guys that you've taken players from there before that had success here, and that helped you with the next guy?
To be honest with you, I haven't even put that correlation together. Transfers that pop up, you evaluate, and I don't really look at so much where they're from as much as I look on tape and see if they fit our system and they can help our football team. So that's, to be honest with you, that's more what I'm focused in on instead of where they're from.
Still in general good about where you guys stand heading into this?
Yeah, I think, again, it was a good start. We have a long way to go till February. Again, it's a little different this year. I think for the past few years, we've pretty much been done at this point. But again, with the landscape that's gone, you always want to have enough scholarships left over in order to make sure you find the best players. And I think there's going to be a ton of great players out there in January leading into February signing day. I think you can get some steals. I really do, because of how the recruiting's gone. There's more players that are going to get unsigned this year than I think in a lot of different years out of the high school level. And again, that's just where we're at. And so I think continuing to evaluate, finding needs, and I think you're going to get some really good football players in January and then February signing day.
So that was a conscious decision that you guys made to try to maybe save some of your ammo for later in the
Absolutely.